Hi, my name is Irene, and in this video, we're going to see how to build this custom staircase system in Revit. Now, as you can see, this type of staircase in particular is made out of two parts. We have these kind of like platform element, and then we have a more traditional staircase. So we're going to see how we can build this out of two different staircase systems. So let's get to it. All right, so I'm modeling these stairs just for the sake of them. I don't really have a project to put them on. So because of this, I'm just going to start a new file. I'm going to go with Imperial Architectural Template. I sometimes work with Imperial, sometimes I work with Metric. That's the joy of living in Canada. So as you can see in the reference image, this stair is made out of two parts. You have this first bottom half that is more like a platform, and then you have the second part that is a floating staircase with a glass railing. So basically what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to break the stairs into parts, and I'm going to model on one side the platform and on the other side the rest of the staircase. The other detail that is very interesting in this staircase in particular is that you can see that the stair has like 3 steps, and then it has like an offset on the 4 steps. So the 4 steps serves almost like a bench on the side. So this means that we're going to need to customize this platform a little bit. So because of this, we are going to start with a monolithic stair. One thing that I like to do when I'm working with stairs is I will work on level 1 to place them, but I like to always have the 3D view open so I can actually see what's coming through. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to start with a new stair, and I'm going to go to railing, and I'm going to check that I want no railing. There's no railing in the platform portion. And for the stair type, I am going to be going with the monolithic one. The assembled option has like individual kind of like risers and threads and whatnot. We don't really need that here. It's just like a solid element. So I'm going to go with the monolithic stair. The other thing that I want to do is that normally by default, your stairs are locked to go from level 1 to level 2 because stairs are supposed to allow you to go from one floor to the next floor. But in this case, we are not following that. We are creating our own staircase that is only going to go 4 steps. So what I'm going to do here instead is I'm going to say that I don't want it to go to a top level, and instead we can set the stair height. So how high is that stair supposed to be? Now, because it's a platform, I'm going to make these steps a little bit on the shorter side. So I'm going to make each step just 6 inches. And then we need to count how many we need. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to say that is going to be 6, 12, 2 feet, basically. So we're going to go 2 feet. And here we're going to say, yeah, see, it's calculating the number of steps. It's going to be 4 steps. Okay, perfect. Great. So we can start drawing. Now, I tried this family a little bit, and I have found that there's some issues with like making it the way that we see it in the reference image, where you can see that it's like this wood element that goes all the way to the floor. So because of this, I'm actually going to break this platform into 2 parts. One is going to be these like 3 initial steps and platform where the bench portion is. And then I'm going to make another one that is just going to be just that one additional step. So because of this, I'm going to start just with a straight stair. I don't need to be fancy. And I am going to make the width of that run 3 feet for one side, then 6. Let's make it 6 feet wide. That's going to give me a pretty wide stair. And we're going to create this. Now, that's looking kind of silly, especially on this image. Don't worry, it's going to get better. So with this out of the way, I'm going to say yes, as in this is what I want, although it's not. I'm going to change my level of detail to fine. And what I want to do here is after I've created these stairs, I'm actually going to go to edit. And what I want to do is select the stairs and click here to convert to sketch base. So this is going to basically allow me to play with the form of these stairs a lot more freely and basically move my steps to whatever I want them to be. Because basically what I want to do is I want to select my stair, I want to edit the sketch, and I want to select this back portion, and I want to push it far back. So again, to mimic kind of what we are seeing on this image here, let's say that the overall depth is going to be, I don't know, 10 feet. Like we want it to be pretty deep. Yeah, sure, like 10 feet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the trim tool, we key TR, and I'm going to make the boundaries meet. And I'm just going to grab this path here and I'm going to bring it there and I'm going to say yes. So that is going to give me the first portion. And then I'm going to say yes here again, sorry. And that is going to give me like my base stair. I want to see if precast, I don't want the concrete. We're going to leave the concrete for now. Anyway, So with my stair out of the way, what I need to do now is I need to fix this. See how it goes like this and then it goes like that? I don't want that. I want the whole thing to go down. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go to edit type. And first thing first, I like to duplicate. I always duplicate just in case to avoid any issues. So I'm going to call these my platform stair. Okay. And we're going to say yes. Now, when it comes to editing the system that is stairs, and it's called the system because stairs are not just stairs. Stairs are made from combining a bunch of different geometries. So for example, you have connectors, you have supports, and you have the run itself. So in this case, I'm going to be editing the run. So I'm going to click on this guy here. I don't need that nosing and depth. I can do this guy here, for example. That's just giving me kind of like an inset to my stair. I don't need, that's fine. So what I actually want to do here is I want to, once again, I want to duplicate this. So I'm going to start by calling this platform as well. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to change this structural depth. We're going to leave this guy smooth, but I'm going to make this much deeper because this structural depth is basically how far this thickness is shown. So for example, if I make this into like 1 inch, for example, I'm not sure if it's even going to let me do that. Let's say apply, okay, and then apply. Why is it doing nothing? Maybe I just need to make it bigger. So if I make it 1 feet and I go apply and I go okay and I go apply, why is it not changing? Is it because, no, it is platform stair. What is going, oh no, there you go. It did do it. Sometimes I feel like I'm gonna go crazy. Okay, so let's go back here to my platform and you can see that it has gone down. So basically you just want to increase this number until it goes to the bottom. And you can actually calculate this, right? Because if we're going, 6 inches, then we go 12 inches, then we go 16 inches, no, 18 inches. I can basically come here and say, okay, you're gonna be 2 feet. Oh, no, I went too far. Let's make it 18 inches and then apply. There you go. And this is going to basically give me this stair element that goes all the way to the bottom. The last thing that I want to do is I want to fix, like, you can see that the step has this kind of like edge. Now that is very nice when you have concrete steps, it avoids tripping, but that's not really what we have in this reference image. So we're going to go back here to our stair. We're going to go back to the platform run that we've created. And basically what we want to do is we want to change, there should be an option here, this slanted. So that is making so the riser is slanted. If I check that off, now it's nice and straight. The last thing that I want to do is change the material of the stairs, just because I really hate those like dots, lines, like whatever that crap is. So I'm going to go to wood. And I'm just going to choose a random wood material. I can later edit it. So I'm going to choose oak flooring for the time being. Everything else, I can leave it as I want. If you want to have that additional detail that you can see that like the stair is kind of like monolithic and then it has that kind of like detail on the top, you could do that. You can do that with threads. So if I come here and I say apply threads on top, it's just going to apply this additional element. But what you can see is that because I'm kind of messing up with the nature of the stair, it's messing up the result a little bit. So again, what do you want? Oh no, this is just the hatch of the floor. Ew, gross. Let's get rid of that hatch. No wonder I'm getting all confused. Materials, ooh, those lines are ugly. Let's go here to graphics and remove that. Yeah, no, you're not gonna do it. And we're gonna say none. Yes. Apply. Okay, yes, that's looking so much better. Going back to my stairs, the last thing that I want to do is I want to get rid of these kind of like protrusion of the step. I want it to be like perfectly aligned with my stair. So I'm going to go back to editing my run type and I'm going to say that the nosing is going to have no length, so 0. So if I come here and I set that up, what's going to happen is that, as you can see, now my step is like perfectly aligned. Also, I'm just going to make it a little bit thinner. I find 2 inches to be a little bit too much. So I'm going to make it 1 inch. There you go. That's looking beautiful. So we have the first 3 steps. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the last step, which is this portion here. Now, if we want to just continue working with stairs, which I would very much want to do so, what I'm going to do this time is I am going to kind of like cheat a little bit. I'm basically going to make a stair that starts at a height of 2 feet and then just goes a single step up. So to do that, we're going to go back to our architecture, back to our stairs, and we're just going to make sure that we're working with the same thing again. So no railing, and we are going to our platform stairs. And now what I'm going to do this time is I am going to make a sketch stair, or know what? I could make it, yeah, I can just like do it the same way that I did the other ones, because if you're sketching, it's too much trouble. So I'm not going to sketch it. I'm going to use a straight one again. The difference here is that I'm going to make it so it starts at level 1, but I'm going to give it an offset of 2 feet. So it's going to start from basically where we are here. And then I'm going to say that it's not going to go to level 2. Instead, it's just going to go a height of 6 inches. And that is going to give me a single step. Now, for the width of this run, if we have the original being 6 inches, this guy, I don't want it to be 6 inches, 6 feet. I don't want it to be 3 feet because that is the width of the actual stairs. So let's say it's going to be 4 feet. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say 4 feet. And to make my placement easier, I'm going to put it from the left, so that way I can just click here and place my single step. And again, that looks really silly. I am perfectly aware. I'm going to bring it to where the other steps are. I can always move this a little bit later. Oh, wait a second. I might need to change that. And I'm going to finish it here. So immediately I'm noticing some issues. First of all, this guy should be lower. So I'm going to come here and say that instead of 2 feet is going to be what, 18 inches? Yes, that's going to put it right where I want it. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to go to edit stairs. We're going to select this guy and we're going to say, can I actually, no, that's to move it. Go back. I can come here and say I'm going to convert it into a sketch once again. And all I need to do is edit that sketch and do the same thing that I did before. Select this guy, bring it here, TR for trim, and then bring this guy over here to the end and then say yes, and then say yes. One thing that I am noticing is I'm not sure why this guy's projecting like this. I could do a couple of things to fix it. One of them, I think that the problem is that because it's not connecting to anything, because you can see that here, it's going a little bit beyond. So I was not looking at correct information. Very interesting. Let's select this. Yeah, I think it's going a little bit beyond. Interesting. Let's edit. Yes, this boundary is going far beyond where it should be. So edit sketch. But here it looks fine. I'm not sure why it's projecting like that. There's a couple of things that we could do to fix it. One is we can just try it like this until it aligns. The other thing is that you can see that I need to fix this like depth of the step, which again, it's going to be the same. Oops, that's not that. That is going to be the same detail that we did before. So let's see if we can fix this portion here. Okay, yeah, that seems a little bit more aligned. I'm not sure what's giving me this little error here, but that's okay. We're going to go here, edit type. We're going to go here to platform. If anything, because again, remember, this is type, so that's going to affect this guy and that guy as well. So worst case scenario, where I can do is duplicate. So this is going to be platform 2. Now let's see if I can get away with using a stepped construction instead of the other one. If I say okay and I say apply, still causing some issues. So let's leave it smooth and let's make this 6 inches maybe. Let's see what that's going to give me. Oh, no, that's changing the wrong one. Cancel, cancel, cancel. You are going to be, yes, you are going to be platform 2 and you are, you are supposed to stay as platform 1. Yes, okay, now we're cooking with gas. Okay, we're going to come here, edit type, edit the why? Oh, because I need to do both stairs. So platform stair 1 and 2. This is where things get complicated. There you go. And this guy's now going to be platform 2. There you go. Now this makes a lot more sense. Let's say if I make you 6 inches, what's going to happen here? I'm going to go apply. I'm going to go apply. And nothing is happening. Strange. I could, worst case scenario, I could use a void to remove the excess. Well, it might not work because it's a system and voids can cut through basically geometry. So voids can cut through a wall, they can cut through a floor, but remember, stairs are not necessarily a geometry. They are made out of parts. I could always do a little bit of excess geometry to fill in this little blank. But again, I'm not sure why I'm getting that error. If I make it smooth and I go apply and I go apply, I'm not sure why I'm getting that error. I'm going to continue. Notch thickness, is it this? It shouldn't be connection method, notch. Shouldn't be that. Straight cut maybe? Let's see, okay. Oh, there you go. Now it's fixed. Okay, I see. So the problem here is if we come back here, because of the construction, what we were getting was these kind of like cutting in, which is not what we wanted to do. So now it's working the way that we wanted. Beautiful. Okay, yes. Perfect. So the end connection, it was kind of like creating a little bit of an issue. Now this is working much better. Let's go back here to edit. Let's go here to edit the sketch. And now we can bring this guy over here. Fantastic. Okay. Now, to be honest with you, that is the hardest part of this. The stair itself is just a floating stair. It's like kind of what you get to begin with Revit. We're just going to do a little bit of customization. So to do the last portion of the stair, once again, what we're going to do is we're going to cheat. We're going to tell Revit that we're going to start at these 2 feet height, and then we're going to say that we want to connect it to level 2. So to do that, we're going to once again start with a stair. Now, this stair will have a railing. And what you can see is that it's a glass railing. So what I like to do is I like to start with the glass railing from Revit because it's going to make it a little bit easier to work with. So I'm just going to choose the glass panel one. And then, also, I want the glass railing to be on the stringers. So this thread versus stringer is basically where that railing is anchored. Is it on the steps of the stair itself, or is it on the stringers that run on the sides? And if you look at the reference image, in the reference image, the railing is on the stringer. So I'm going to put it here, following the reference. And now again, what I'm going to do is say, okay, you're going to go from level 1 to level 2 this time, but you're going to have a base offset of 2 feet. So we're going to have a little bit of a start. Now, the other thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be switching to a assembled stair because that is going to give me the freedom to work with risers and threads separately. So I'm going to pick this guy here. Again, 2 feet to level 2. This is going to give me the total number of steps that I should have and the height of them. So far, so good. I'm going to make my actual run width to be 3 feet. And I'm going to set it, to start from the run on the left side. So with that out of the way, it's going to be a straight type because you can see that we have a kind of landing. And then I'm going to start drawing. So let's say that I'm going to start here. And I'm going to count, oh, that is not exactly where I want it, but we can shift that. I'm not gonna get too picky. Now, this stair seems to be covering more height than what I see in this reference image. So what I want to do, I want my landing to kind of be close to what we have. So what may happen is that I will take this and push it back because you basically want your stairs to have an even number of steps on both sides. So see, for example, here it's telling me that I need a total number of 14 steps. So that would be 7 and 7. Plus we have the landing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do, let's say, 6, and then I'm going to click. So that is going to set the first element. And then what I can do, I'm going to do it a little bit away because I'm going to be editing my stair position a bit. I'm going to click again, and that's going to restart the stair. And see what's going to happen? It's just going to do the rest of my steps. Oh, I could have gone the 7 steps. You know what? Let's do the 7 steps, actually. Control Z. There we go. Let's restart. Level 2, blah, blah, blah. Everything is set up. And let's start drawing again. Let's do 7 this time. 7, and then click, and then again, leave a little bit of a distance, and then restart. And there you go. I like that much better. Now, again, this stair, like the alignment is not exactly what we want, but it is much easier to fix the alignment afterwards. So I can actually just select my stair and like push it around a little bit, see? So you don't have to worry too much. The actual run width, less than the minimum, that's fine. It's just giving me a warning, see? So I can come now here, select this guy, and for example, bring it so it is like perfectly like almost there, just a little bit of a gap. And then I can, same thing, bring this guy in. Let's say that we want it to be like there, for example. Again, that's less than what it's supposed to be. I can also come here and just set up that width. So let's say, let's actually do that here for a second, just to make sure that we are not too far away from what code tells us. Okay, so we're gonna bring this guy over here, and then I can always fix the platform portion. So I'm gonna say you're gonna be 3 as well. Enter. Oh, no, it's clipping into it. Bring it over here. We're going to say 3. There you go. And then you're going to bring you as close as possible. Let's do something like that. Okay. This guy here is 3. That's fine. For the time being, I'm just going to finish it up. Because now what I can do is I can come back to my platform and I can edit that. I can select my platform, edit sketch, and then just say, okay, you're going to now come here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I can come to my other step and I can come here, edit stairs, and I can go to select and edit sketch and say, okay, you are going to go around where the middle of the stair is. So as you can see, there's a little bit of back and forth. Don't be afraid of playing with your geometry. Once you have established it, that's the most important part. Okay, so this is looking interesting. I hate this railing with a passion, but don't worry, we're going to be fixing it. So before we get to the railing, I want to modify my stair. So it's going to start exactly the same way that we did with the platform one. We are going to select our stair. We're going to go to edit type and we're going to duplicate. Now the name of this guy is going to be floating stair. And same thing, I'm going to go to the run type, and that's where I'm going to start with my modifications. So once again, we're going to duplicate. So this is going to be floating. And what I'm going to do here is a couple of things. So first of all, for this stair construction, we only have threads. We don't have risers. So what we can do is simply turn them off. If I say apply and I say OK and I say apply, you should see where, oh, there you go. Jesus Christ, I think my Revit wants to die. You can see that now we have this floating stair, very similar to what we have in our image. I don't really love the shape of the threads themselves. So we can come back here and go back to editing our run. And for the threads, you're going to see that the thread has a profile. So you can create your own custom profile, or you can work with the default. The default is just going to make it like a nice little square, which is exactly what we want. Now, what I do want is I want to make it a little bit thicker. Like in the image, it looks more like a 3-inch thickness. So let's see if we apply that. Yeah, that's looking much, much better. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, great. That's really all we need here. I don't need a nosing, so I can make it 0. That's fine. Perfect. Actually, yes, we do want a nosing, because nosing is basically when the step goes a little bit beyond. And when you have floating stairs, it's actually nice to have a little bit of that like goes beyond, so you don't feel like your foot is just floating. That's a very uncomfortable feeling. And finally, to finish up, we are going to assign for our stairs the same oak flooring material that we did for everything else with the platform. So I'm going to go apply. I'm going to go OK. And now what we're going to do is we're going to deal with the supports, the stringers. Now, I really like the shape of my stringers right now. They perfectly match what I have in my reference image. The only problem that I have with them is the fact that they're too thin. I want them to be as thick as the threads themselves. So we're going to go to edit type, and I am going to change, see here, stringer width 2 inches. So we're going to click on this, and you guessed it, we're going to duplicate. This is going to be a 3-inch width. Okay. We're going to say OK to this, and we are going to say that this is going to be 3 inches. Apply, OK. And then we're going to change it so this guy is also the 3-inch one. OK. And that's it. Basically, we're going to say OK here. And that is it for the stair portion. If I go here to look at it realistic, let's see how it's coming along. Ooh, oh, I forgot to give a material to the top here of my platform. Let me quickly fix that. That's going to be for my thread profile. Where is the option? Oh, here for the thread is going to be Control C, Control V, apply, OK, apply, OK. And then same thing for this guy. Edit, and then edit platform, and then same thing, Control C, Control V, apply, OK, apply, OK. And same thing for the threads here, edit type. So as you can see, like these families are really easy to work with. It's more that it's tedious. That's the real problem. So we're going to come here and we're going to say it's going to be the same material, apply, OK. And then there you go. Full stair made out of wood. The last thing that I want to work with is the railing, because this railing is over designed basically. If you look at the image does have the glass panel, but we only have the railing on the top. We don't have these other elements. The glass goes all the way to the bottom. There's a little bit of one of these elements right at the bottom. We don't have these elements in between. So basically what I'm trying to say is that this stair needs a lot of editing. So let's get to it. So in order to edit the railing, what we're going to do is select any of them. Doesn't really matter. And once again, we're going to go to edit type. We're going to start by duplicating, and this is going to be my glass panel custom. and we're going to say okay. And there's a couple of things here as well. Railing, same as stairs, are not a single geometry. They are a system, which basically means that they are made out of like putting a bunch of things together. In the case of railings, the parts are going to be basically vertical elements, horizontal elements, and then panels. You can think about them a little bit like mullions, except that you don't just have mullions in general. You have vertical elements and horizontal elements. So the first thing that I want to do here is I want to work with the railing structure. So I'm going to come here and I am going to say that I'm only going to have, I'm going to have rail 1. I'm only going to have one rail. So I am going to get rid of the railing 2, delete. And the other thing is that, so if I go here, apply, and I go okay, and I go apply, what you should see, let's see, there you go. One of them has disappeared, beautiful. So I'm gonna select this guy and switch it to my custom. So both of them will change, there you go. And then what I wanna do is I wanna take that little square element and I wanna bring it all the way to the bottom. So to do that, I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna say that the height is gonna be 0. And that is going to basically put it right against the bottom. So I'm gonna go apply, I'm gonna go okay, I'm gonna go apply. See, so now it's right at the bottom. Now that might mess up with my panel a little bit. Don't worry, we're going to edit that panel eventually. But before I get there, I have my top railing, I have my bottom element. Wait a second, I think it's encroaching into the stair. I might need to give it a bit of an offset because I think it's counting it from the middle. So let me edit here, this 1 inch. So we're going to give it a height of 1/2 inch maybe. That should put it right on the top. Apply. Beautiful. That's all. Okay, great. Up next, I want to work with these vertical elements. Basically, I don't want to have these elements here. I just want to have the ones at the beginning, end, and corners. So same thing. We're going to come back over here. This time, instead of working with the railing structure non-continuous, we're going to work with baluster placement. So for this is a little bit more complex, as you can see. So you have on one side the railing. This is where you're going to encounter your glass panel as well. Now, what I want to do here is before we start working with the railing part, so this is basically the horizontal element, I want to focus on the baluster. This is the vertical portion. So what I want to do here is I want to get rid of the elements that are like repeating. So for that, we are going to get rid of this regular baluster. So basically, these are the ones that you have in your borders, so to speak. So start, corners and ends, we want to keep those. We want to get rid of these ones that are the ones that repeat. So I am going to select this and I am going to delete it. And if I go apply and I go okay and I go apply, there you go. That's looking much better. Now my glass is still looking really insane because it's not connecting to anything. It's magic glass. So that's where we are going to edit this guy here. Now what we can do is we just want to basically play with these numbers here. So first of all, the base offset, we want that base offset to be 1 inch because remember that's this like base element that we have here. For the top, we want it to go to our rail. We do not want an offset on the top, so we're going to make it 0 inches. And distance from previous, I don't want any distance from the previous, so I'm going to make that 0 as well. So once I make all of those changes, I'm going to click apply, okay, and then apply. Oh, why did it put it? It's putting it at the bottom. That makes no sense whatsoever. But I can see that it's bringing it where it should. Give me a second. Ah, yes, I am a very silly goose. So to fix our glass element here, I made a mistake. The mistake is the top. Rail 1, if you remember, is this guy here at the bottom. So what I need to do is say that the top is going to be the top rail element. Once I do that, that should fix my problems. Yes, there you go. That's much better. Now, the other thing that I see is that it's going a little bit beyond on the ends. I do not want that. I'm not entirely sure what's causing that. I also think that there might be a little bit of an overlap on the glass elements. But yeah, I'm not sure what's creating this kind of offset. It might be due to the placement. I think I remember there being an offset detail in the family. So let's come back here. Here. Previous. Let's do this 0. Apply. Okay, and then apply. Oh, no, that went too far. Why is this guy giving me display? Oh, let's say 1 inch. And then let's say, that's the pattern. No, that should not affect anyone, but let's see. If we give it 1 inch, apply. Okay, apply. Oh, that's the width. I see now. Why? Let's make it 3 feet, maybe. Apply, okay. Apply. That's messing them up a little bit. I'm not loving this. There is a way that I could get away with this, which is, it's kind of sneaky, but it might be a good way. So basically what I could do is instead of having these, because the problem with this guy is that it's repeating, and that is causing some issues. So another thing that I could do is simply have kind of the same way that I have these little railing here, but I can make it the height of the element. So let's actually cheat a little bit, shall we? If I go here, yeah, because otherwise I'm gonna be stuck in this situation where basically I have to work with these smaller elements to make them fit. And there's always going to be a little bit of like, oh, this doesn't work, so let's do something. If you want to create your own railing, basically you can make that as a family. So you can go File, and then we're going to go New, New, and then Family. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is we are going, let me switch so I can preview this in a way that makes more sense to me. View, details, okay, yes. We are going to go with, I think we're working with Imperial, so let me make sure that I am also working with Imperial. Templates, family templates. And we're gonna go English Imperial. And what I want is, in this case, we are going to be basically working with profiles. So we're going to go all the way down to profile. And what you're going to see is that sometimes you're going to work with just a regular profile. Sometimes there's going to be a specific profile. So see, for example, this is a profile specific for rail. Now, I cannot remember if that is just for the top railing or this one allows me to use it for like any railing element. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select this profile rail. We're going to make it. And we're going to see if we want to change it to a regular profile in a second. So what I'm going to do here is you want to make sure that you're drawing within this rail center line. You have your rail top. You're looking at this from a floor plan view. When you're working with railing and profiles in general, it's always a 2D view. So there's no such thing as like floor plan elevation or whatever. It's a single view. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a simple profile, which is just going to be a very skinny and tall rectangle. So the thickness of the rectangle, I want it to be as thin as possible. 1/4 of an inch seems pretty good to me. And the height, I want it to be the height of the stair itself. Now, if we go back here to the stair and you don't know what is the height of like your railing of your stairs, you can just select them and go to edit. And you're going to see that it's telling you that the height is 3. So I just need this guy to be 3 as well. So I'm going to come here, maybe like a little bit less to account for the railing. So I'm going to come here and set this guy to be if we are saying 3, let's maybe 36. So let's make it 35, for example, to give it a little bit of an offset. There you go. Now, don't worry if this is not looking like it makes much sense. I'm going to go MV. Now, the one part that I do have a problem when I work with profiles here is that I have a very hard time understanding. Oh, that's the rail top. Sorry. I'm going to select this guy here, MV. That is the rail top. So my guy is going to go from the rail top. So that is where it's going to go. Perfect. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, see, profile usage, railing, you have a few options here, slab deck, blah, 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 start nosing, riser, blah, blah, blah. So railing is exactly what I want. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go File, Save As, Family, and I'm going to save this guy on my desktop for the time being as glass panel. Okay, and now I'm going to load that into my project, load it into project. And now we're going to move here. And what I can do now is go to Edit Type, edit my baluster placement. And what I want to do here is instead of this guy, I am going to replace it for my glass panel. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, baluster, baluster. Oh, is it because? Yes, it's because it's no. So okay, let me clarify. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to say that I don't want this because again, remember, these are the vertical elements. We don't want this to be a vertical element. What we're going to do instead is we're going to say apply. We're going to say okay, which is going to make it so you have no glass at all, but don't panic because what we're going to do then is we're going to go to our rail structure and we're going to add another rail here, which is going to be my new glass rail. So there you go, glass panel, sorry. And I can come here and say that this material is going to be glass, for example. So glass here or glass clear, it doesn't matter. And I don't need to set the height because I've set up the height within the family and I have not made it parametric. So even if I try to set it up here, it's not really gonna work. And for the offset, I'm gonna give it an inch because it is an inch from the ground. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go apply and I'm gonna go okay, and I'm gonna go apply, oh, from the railing, my bad, from the railing. This guy here, from the offset, from the glass panel, offset 1 inch. God dang it, I always mix this. Apply, okay, apply, okay. Do I need to flip this? I think I need to flip it. Again, my brain has a very hard time understanding how 2D will translate to 3D. And I always put it in the wrong place. I was originally correct. Okay, let's save this. Let's load it into my project. That's gonna take a second. Override. I don't want to override the parameters, just the railing. It's there you go. See, now again, this is the part where if you want to play with the height a little bit to customize it. I went here a bit too high. I can also play with like the offset or whatnot. This is mostly because my height is not parametric, but I can always create parameters for it. Again, if you go to your profiles, your profile is still very much a family. And if you go to the types, you can create a parameter for the height that then when you bring the family into your Revit project, when you go here to edit type and you go here to edit, it's going to attach to that height. So let me actually quickly see if we can do that. I can just very quickly here create a reference plane, RP. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to go AL for align, AL to align, select my reference plane, select this guy, lock it, bring it. I'm just going to bring it back down a little bit, go DI for dimension, measure here to here, and this is going to be my height. I'm going to make it a type parameter, that's fine. And there you go. So if I go save and load, that should fix it. If not, I can always make my glass just a little bit lower. This is more so the family in the project will recognize the height of the profile. So I don't have that like weird offset. There you go. See? So now I can come here and I can say edit type, edit, and I can say, oh, click on the wrong one. And I can say like, you're just going to be whatever height I want it to be. I'm going to leave it like this for the time being. Again, I can always edit this later. The last thing that I want to do, the final detail, just for fanciness, is that if you look at the reference image, you may notice that the railing doesn't stop right here at the end. Instead, it goes a little bit beyond and then it goes down. If you want to do that with your project, what you can do is hover where the railing, top railing is, and you're going to press the tab key. You can select just the railing, and then you can actually edit it. And what you're going to see is that basically your railing is a what's the word? Not revolve, and not extrude, sweep. It's a sweep. So what I can do is I can edit that sweep. So I can say that I want to edit the path, and then I can either add or I can extend or I can like do whatever I want to that path. So for example, let's say I'm gonna try to, yes, edit the path. So what I want to do here, there you go, there's my path. Why don't you let me, well, let me just draw. So there you go. So I can do a continuation of my railing. So let's say I'm going to bring it here, and then there you go. See how it extends my railing? And then I'm going to bring it down. There you go. And then when you finish, you just say yes, then say yes again. And there you go. There is your custom shaped railing. And with that, we have reached the end of this video. As you can see, this is quite the custom stair compared with what we begin with. And that's basically the gist of stairs in Revit. It's just a matter of playing with all the different profiles and elements that make the system that is the stairs. So yeah, that is basically it. So if you like this video, please give it a like, leave a comment, share it with others. And if there's any kind of custom stair that you want to build, you can always put it in the comments. You can put an image or a link to an image, and I will just add it to the to-do list. But in the meantime, thank you very much for joining in. Thank you very much for sticking through, and I will see you when I see you. Have a good one. Bye.